difficult, no? And in fact, it's not the right legislation. So the first version actually mandated legislation, mandated the technology, which we corrected. So now we talk about the standards. But you're correct, dapat rin yung standards malinaw. So we will be clear with the standards, but we will stop short of mandating a technology to make sure that the law can last for 25 to 50 years or even 100 years, no? Because technologies will change. But I do understand that the idea of this law really started with understanding blockchain further, and that was my experience naman when I had my fellowship in the US nung inaral ko rin yung blockchain. So of course, these days we have different groups saying, oh, we have this technology which is similar to blockchain but not exactly blockchain. We leave that to the implementers already to decide, no? Because my understanding is that people in the ICT are more well versed than us with regard to these technologies, and I know that that's a bone of contention for many groups here. Pero I am insisting that we keep all the processes transparent. At di namin to papakawalan. Anyway, we have oversight function on with regard to the bill. We will make sure that the best technology at the best price is the one that's utilized for our people. No, so we'll request Attorney Mark the suggestion on paper, so we can also compare it side by side with other suggestions. So, thank you. Sige, we'll have Anne and then si Paul.
Mr. Chair, thank you. And we 100% agree to the principles that you just laid out, that this bill should be technology neutral. We need to lay down all the principles, and I think the Section 8 captures all these principles of immutability, that data integrity, the oversight, the mirror databases. Those are principles that would be good and that would best fit how we can process the data flow of the budget without these insertions, without following actually what happens and the entire flow of this cycle. And we just want to add, Mr. Chair, to the point of, I think it was mentioned a while ago by Prof. Toti, no? Inad lang namin yung outcome-based metrics. Because after getting all of this data, what do? We do not make the citizens go on one-on-one on each website. But in the Cadena platform, as a digital platform that invites any type of technology, whether that's blockchain, API, AI technologies, that would be, it's a catch basin for all technologies, the digital platform of Cadena platform. But there would be an outcome-based metric so that the citizens will easily see how these funds flow and disperse down to the contracts, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Sino pa yung mga nagtaas ng kamay? We have, sige, Sir Armand. Yeah, Paul. Sorry, Paul first, then Sir Armand.
Mr. Chair, I think we should have a provision in the bill that, you know, all of these processes, it must be a protocol rather than a standard, meaning more advanced, diba? Or more higher. Kasi we need to make sure that there's a minimal human intervention on what we're doing, because that's where technically the problem always, you know, doing work around and all. But if we put everything in the code, you know, as there are triggers, audits, there are time-based, you know, triggers, etc. So if the code or the protocol was defined on the bill, then when we do the IRR, may sinusundan po tayo kung anong kailangan ilagay sa program. Kasi later on, when specific vendor or kung sino man po yung gagawa, even the ICT, they need to really follow some specific protocol already.
You're referring to protocol as a technical term, di ba? Or
a technical and also standard, no? So so you can write a code with a specific what does it do, na define. Pero technically, in a logic perspective, susundin po niya talaga kung ano yung step by step na ginagawa.
Sige, let me request Paul if you can write that down. What you mean exactly na protocol? Right. If it's the logic, I mean parang what should it do? What should the output be?
Yes,
no?
Mr.
I
Chair.
think we really tried to put it here, but baka you can help us with language also.
Thank you,
We'll
Mr.
welcome that. Armand?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think on looking at the principles, to enhance the immutability and transparency, I think we missed to mention consensus. If there are consensus among the nodes or the agency, definitely we'll be able to limit some of those disparity or anomalies in the databases or the ledger.
Is consensus a technical term? Yes, no?
Yes,
What do
yes.
you, Nisha, yeah, what do you mean exactly by consensus?
So, because if one of the nodes doesn't agree, then it will not be part of the data. The data or the ledger will not be updated. So again, we are promoting immutability. That's one. I'm just checking on the principles kasi you mentioned about transparency, immutability, and the other thing that will enhance is consensus that everybody agrees. For example, the smart contract says that we will only consummate the transaction if everybody agrees that this is not an insertion. So then the data will be updated because it's validated that it's not an insertion. And I think that's one point on the consensus. The other point that I'm looking at is the digital shadowing. Because we're talking about digital data, but what about the physical budget? Where is it now? There should be some points in the process that there will be some checkpoints wherein the digital data says that we still have 100 million. How are we going to check the physical one or the fiat that there's still 100 million? So in our experience in implementing blockchain in FIEPM or public financial management, we always make sure that there's a digital shadowing so that at any checkpoint there will be KPI and metrics that the digital data is equivalent to the physical, let's say, projects or budget. So I think that's one of the things that you want to stress.
So there were two things, no? Si consensus tsaka si digital shadowing. We didn't go into smart contracts here, Sir Armand, because primarily we want this to be a platform for information. No, hindi pa siya triggers for actions. No, we didn't go there kasi I also feel that if we do that, it will take longer to make. You know, and I want to get this out as soon as we can. No, but that doesn't stop us from building on it a year from now or 2 years from now when Cadena is up and running already, or even from the agencies to build on it even without the law, diba? I mean, that's possible. Sige, yung consensus po, I'll need lang maybe further support in terms of what you mean and the definition of consensus. I think when you talk about consensus, you mean it as a technical term, consensus among the nodes, diba? So if you can just submit that to us. And then yung digital shadowing, yes, I see that that's important kasi baka yung nakikita ng publiko, iba yung numero, iba na yung numero ng treasury. Di ba? Sige, we'll try to see how we can look for a solution there, or baka may mga tayo every X months nagche-check. Although to be honest, we don't have the treasury data here, no? Treasury data is not here. All we have is disbursement data, no? So can you kindly write that out na lang, Sir Armand, no? So we can consider that. Yes, AJ, and then Ann. Okay.
Yes.
And then si Hill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, I feel out of my depth responding to the technical concerns. I'm here as a budget watchdog, so the end user talaga. I would just like to express maybe a little bit concern. I think in general, we really do want to be tech neutral. So I might disagree with some that we might have to specify the specific protocols talaga, or that the...
We can disagree with each other here.
Yeah.
Okay lang naman, ha? Don't
In fact-
don't hesitate kasi we're discussing it, no? Yan ang discussion.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. In fact, my initial reading is that yung term na digital public ledger system might be too specific rather than too broad pa nga. Parang an open system might be better. In fact, parang reading a digital open system might be better. But reading some of these, I feel like some of the aspects here might de facto lock us into blockchain. Like, is there an alternative that meets these standards that is not blockchain? Because until parang everything that I've heard so far, it seems like blockchain is the only technology that meets these standards right now. So until I hear that there is other technology that might meet these standards, it feels like we're locking into blockchain.
So, question, why not? Considering that that's the gold standard right now for securing documents, decentralized. So question is, why not?
I think it. So again, I'm not a tech person. I'm coming from more policy background. I think it's very difficult to legislate specific technologies like this. Technology moves faster than legislation, so we're just hesitant. We're not close to the idea, I think, but we're just hesitant that if we lock it into this technology, it might favor certain industry interest. It might favor, the market dynamics, for example, rather than yung end user, which is the budget watchdogs, na yun talaga yung proponent dapat ng measure.
You're not the end user. The end user is the citizen.
Yes,
so
the
you're here to support the citizens.
Yes.
With regard to understanding the budget
Yes,
better.
correct, yes.
So our end users are the citizens.
Yes.
So just to be clear.
Yes.
But the heaviest user will probably be the budget watchdogs,
Yes.
the academe,
Yes.
media, no, other policy making offices. So I guess the question is, I know that there's hesitation, but if that is the technology that fits the standard, why are we afraid to use that technology, especially if right now that seems to be the best possible technology right now. Now, we're keeping it technology neutral because we understand in a year from now or 2 years from now, it may not be the best anymore, or it may not be the gold standard anymore. But currently, that seems to fit the bill in terms of what we want to see. No, but then again, we opened it up to other people to participate to see what will actually fit the bill. Now, ang question ko is the standards. Is there anything in the standard that you feel is contravening to our purposes? Diba? Now, sabihin nila, it's secure. Or we want secure. It's decentralized. I personally, I would prefer decentralized over centralized. Kasi centralized, kaya mong baguhin, no? In fact, one concern there was, will government hold all of the nodes? And I said, no. We want the private sector to also hold some of the nodes. Schools can hold it, media, even PBC can hold one of the nodes. So decentralized, okay rin siya. So let's look at the standards. Ano yung mga standards na sa tingin mo hindi okay? Diba? Now, if the standards are okay and we all agree on the standards, then we'll allow the implementer to choose which technology is best. Now, I understand that a number of our watchdogs and a number of our citizens aren't well versed in blockchain. Naintindihan ko yan. But it's not new. Blockchain, and how many years ng blockchain? But itong the upswing of blockchain is what, the last 10 years, 15 years? Ano ba yung cadena is blockchain, right? Diba? When was blockchain actually when did it get into the consciousness of Paul?
So just for the public, because this is a public hearing. So the blockchain is just a terminology, no? It was, when Bitcoin was starting. In fact, the blockchain has a space, not one word. When you see the Satoshi paper, it's really like that. But, media coined it blockchain as one word. Pero the DLT itself, the digital ledger technology, it's been there since 90s, no? In fact, blockchain is not DLT. A blockchain is only part of DLT. It's not be all and all of DLT. We have DAG, directed acrylic graph. We have hash graph, etc. So there's a lot of technology that technically proposes the same. Blockchain became hot lang talaga because of Bitcoin or what we're seeing. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. Who can I ask here? Anne or Dr. Al? Sige, Anne, go ahead. Baka you'd like to give a comment on what AJ had mentioned then.
To the comment of AJ, I agree with actually we proposed the revision of the title or the description to remove the distributed digital public ledger because it's limiting. The ledger is limiting, and suggested the digital platform because the 10 features of the digital platform Cadena already addresses all of the standards and the principles of what we want to do to shed light on the budget cycle. To the point a while ago, on the consensus, there's already the redundancy and oversight. So that already addresses. On the protocol, there's programmability. I think because this was sent to us evening of yesterday, probably hindi lang po nakita ng mga iba natin na nakalista lahat very